Most people believe they need to do something extraordinary to manifest what they want. The truth is simpler and a little stranger. Even without taking action, your life keeps unfolding according to the direction of your inner world. When your body, mind, emotions, and energies are pointed the same way and stay steady, creation follows. It's not magic. It's the architecture of the human system. Everything human beings have ever built first existed as a quiet shape inside the mind. Every bridge, every invention, every piece of art, and every disaster was born as a thought before it appeared in the physical world. This is why the most important workshop you'll ever enter is not out there, but in the space behind your forehead. If your mind behaves like an untrained animal, jumping, imitating, running without purpose, your life will also feel accidental. If you learn to hold your mind the way you choose, your actions and your world begin to take on the same coherence. There's an old story in yogic tradition. A man once wandered aimlessly and without realizing it, stepped into paradise. He was tired after a long walk and wished for a soft place to rest. Instantly, beneath a perfect tree, he found cool grass and shade. He lay down and slept. Hours later, he woke refreshed and hungry. He wished for something to eat. Everything he imagined appeared before him, perfumed, warm, abundant. He ate without questioning. Then he wished for drink, and the same thing happened. Whatever he thought became reality. A little alcohol loosened the corners of his mind. His imagination began to drift into darker spaces. What if ghosts are hiding here? He wondered. The moment he thought it, they appeared. Terrified, he imagined they would torture him. They did. In agony, he believed they would kill him. And so they did. He had unknowingly fallen asleep beneath a kalpavriksha, a wishing tree, a mind that manifests whatever enters it. Human beings don't need to look for such trees in forests. A well-aligned mind is itself a kalpavriksha. When your physical body, your thoughts, your emotions, and your life energies line up, they pull reality into shape. When these four turn in different directions, your life fragments the same way. The modern mind changes direction every moment. You take 2 steps forward, then change your destination. With this constant zigzag, it's a miracle anyone reaches any goal at all. But if you learn how to choose a direction and hold your inner world steady, creation becomes a natural process. You won't need miracles, rituals, or divine intervention. And if everything you ever wished had shown up at your door today, you would understand why such power must be handled with clarity, not impulse. A powerful mind without conscious direction becomes destructive. That's why humanity's greatest tools, technology, comfort, knowledge, have also become sources of chaos. We act compulsively, not consciously, and the planet pays the price. Training the mind is not about fantasy. It's about shifting from compulsive action to deliberate action, from scattered thought to focused thought, from imitation to true authorship of your life. Faith sometimes works for simple people because it removes inner conflict. If someone believes, with childlike trust, that a deity will help them, their mind stops producing opposing thoughts. No doubt, no friction, pure direction. But the deity doesn't build houses. Your mind does when you allow it to move without contradiction. If life isn't happening the way you wish, it's because your thought process is either unfocused, unstable, or filled with friction, half wanting, half denying. Nature decides what is possible. Your job is to aim yourself fully and remove the noise that weakens your trajectory. You've learned to walk because you've walked many times. You haven't learned to fly because you've never done it. But using the past as the boundary of your future is a quiet insult to what the human spirit can become. What has never happened on this planet may happen tomorrow through a human being who refuses to limit possibility. The line between possible and impossible exists mostly inside the human mind. When you automatically reject an idea because it hasn't happened yet, you're not describing reality. You're describing the limits of your memory. You're deciding the future based on the past, and that decision quietly shapes everything you do or don't do. Instead of asking whether something can happen, the real question is much simpler. Do you truly want it? If the answer isn't clear, your mind cannot gather itself around that direction. Creation requires clarity long before it requires effort. Look closely at what every human being ultimately seeks. Beneath all ambitions, arguments, dreams, and disappointments, there's one simple wish: to experience life pleasantly. Health is pleasantness in the body. Peace and joy are pleasantness in the mind. Love and compassion are pleasantness in the emotions. Bliss and ecstasy are pleasantness in our life energies. Every action, from building a company to raising a family to praying in a temple, is ultimately a search for this same quality. If pleasantness is what we truly seek, then why not aim directly for it? Why not shape ourselves into peaceful, joyful, loving human beings first, instead of hoping the world will deliver these states to us by accident? And if you want a world that reflects these qualities, a world that is peaceful and joyful, remember that such a world isn't separate from you. A joyful world simply means everything you value has taken its rightful place. It means your inner state has found expression outside you. So begin each day with a small commitment. Wherever I go today, I will generate a peaceful, joyful, loving atmosphere. If you fall short 100 times in a single day, it doesn't matter. Falling is not failure unless you stop getting up. For someone who is committed, every fall becomes a lesson, not a defeat. When this commitment becomes the axis of your inner life, your mind starts aligning with it. And once your mind aligns, your emotions follow. When your emotions fall into the same pattern, your energies begin to move with purpose, and eventually your very physiology adapts to this direction. All four dimensions, body, emotion, mind, and energy, point toward one coherent reality. When that happens, the ability to create becomes extraordinary. You begin to function like a true author of your life, not just a passenger carried by circumstances. The intelligence that designed creation is present within you, always active, always accessible. But unless your inner world is organized, you won't reach the doorway where that intelligence can be touched. This is the purpose of yogic science, not bending your body into shapes, not performing rituals, but transforming a human being from a fragment of creation into a conscious creator. It is a method, a technology for accessing the dimension within you, where your life stops being accidental. My wish and blessing is that every human being gains access to that inner source, the seed of creation itself, so that they no longer move through life by chance, but with clarity, choice, and authorship. To understand why most people never manifest what they desire, you have to look at the silent contradictions happening inside them. A person says they want success, yet every few minutes they think about failure. They dream of stability, yet they constantly imagine disaster. They ask for love, yet rehearse memories of rejection. One part of their mind generates a direction, and another part quietly cancels it. Creation cannot happen through conflict. A scattered mind cannot shape a steady reality. If your thoughts are to become real, they must carry focus, stability, and depth. A shallow thought dissolves the moment another impulse arrives. A negative thought pulls down the intensity of your positive one. Doubt interrupts the momentum. Fear bends the direction. In the end, you're left with a mind trying to build in all directions at once, producing nothing but exhaustion. Human beings often confuse possibility with permission. They think, if I haven't seen it happen, it probably can't. But what hasn't happened yet is simply the frontier of tomorrow. Nature decides the ultimate boundaries. Your responsibility is to aim yourself without hesitation. If your mind is clear and free from friction, a thought becomes like a seed. It reorganizes your entire internal system to support its growth. Your body adapts. Your emotions synchronize. Your energies turn like rivers in the same direction. When this alignment becomes steady, external circumstances bend to it in ways that seem unbelievable to those who have never experienced it. But none of this works if you don't know what you truly want. Vagueness is the enemy of manifestation. When desire is blurry, the mind cannot commit to a direction. The first task is always clarity. Once you know what you want, not in a confused, fleeting way, but with the stillness of a settled truth, the process begins. You don't need endless motivation. You don't need to battle with yourself. You simply need to remove the contradictions that weaken your inner movement. Every human being is capable of accessing this level of clarity. Every human being has the same fundamental tools: body, mind, emotion, and energy. When these are disorganized, life feels random. When they are aligned, life becomes intentional. You shift from reacting to creating. The intelligence that crafted the universe is not outside you. It functions within you every moment. You are not separate from the fabric of creation. You are an extension of it, with the capacity to shape your portion of reality consciously. Yoga is the technology designed for this purpose, not as an exercise routine, not as a belief system, but as a method of gaining access to the Creator's tools within yourself. Through this process, a human being evolves from being a product of circumstances to becoming the architect of their own life. My hope is that every person discovers this possibility, not as an idea, but as a lived experience. When you function from that inner access point, you no longer chase life. You participate in its creation. You move through the world not as a passive piece of existence, but with the clarity and power of someone who understands their role in shaping it. Ciao.